The St. Louis Cardinals franchise rolls on again today in Season 5 as we enter with a 21-14 record, sitting behind the Chicago Cubs right now. 6 of those 14 losses have come at the hands of a couple of the best teams in the National League, getting swept by the Dodgers and Phillies when we highlighted those series. Later in this month of May, we are going to meet the Marlins, who have also emerged as one of the strongest teams in the National League, and were even a playoff team a year ago. The main stories I'm looking at as we get today's episode underway is, will the pitching start to get back under control again? We've seen struggles from Dylan Cease, Dylan Lesko, Tank Hence. Mason Miller has been really bad so far this season, giving up 17 runs, a 1.86 whip. The pitching isn't quite right, but the offense is spectacular, with much of our lineup still hitting over 300. And the only player that's really struggled in our starting lineup is Luis Robert Jr., who's a very important part of this team, but we have more than enough offense to make up for his early season struggles. I'd also like to see Nolan Gorman stay the #1 home run hitter in the National League, and I imagine he's also got to be up there for MVP voting. He's currently 3rd in the NL. We're fresh off our sweep against the Dodgers. Really tough loss in that final game, but we got to continue on and put it behind us. And we do with a 4-2 win. Dylan Cease does have a good start, which gives him a couple in a row. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts in this outing. The following day, trailing late, the A's hold on for a 3-1 win. And Nestor Cortes looks to get us the series win, but the offense struggles to get much going in this series. Cortes gave up a couple runs in the 8th inning, and those were enough to lose the game. Then we've got Cincinnati, who has yet to really emerge as a true threat to the division title in this series. And we'll open with a high-scoring game that goes to the Reds, handing us our 6th loss in 7 games. Jojo Romero gives up 4 in this outing, and he's been mostly good, but has a bad outing at the wrong time, and we also let them take the lead in the 9th with Yenier Cano. Joe Musgrove pitching well late into the following game. The Cardinals, though, pull off a late comeback. 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and they do pick up a much-needed victory. It's a series win for our Cards, 11-3 over Cincinnati in the final matchup, as we're starting to see Dylan Cease create some consistency. That's really nice. We build upon that with a series win against Pittsburgh, scoring 12 in the finale. Victor Scott triples as Brandon Marsh is going to have a couple off days. He got a little banged up in one of these, but nothing that would put him on the injured list. We're going to get through a couple of these weeks pretty quickly. These aren't like key matchups I wanted to focus on. So it's an overall successful stretch, I'd say. We split this series with the Reds, but beat them earlier, beat Pittsburgh, and we're now tied with the Cubs atop the division. Arizona is 24-24 as Lesko puts up 10 strikeouts in 7 innings for a dominant win. And then Dylan Cease, he's gotten on a roll in this episode with a 1-0 victory. How far did he go in this one? Dylan Cease goes 8. Gorman hits a solo homer, and it's enough with 5 combined hits. This game probably took an hour and 31 minutes. But that does bring us into the Marlins series now, and they are 29-20. Checking on the standings, now the Cardinals are back into first place, while the Marlins are comfortably up right now in the East for June. Dodgers lead the West. Miami has an outstanding rotation as they've developed Yuri Perez to be their ace. Sandy Alcantara is the number 2, and then Jordan Hicks, he is their number 3. ERAs are never in a good spot with him. The advanced numbers, not that great either, but high 88 overall. Andre Palante pitching against the Cards. It's a perfect time to finally get on the field today, as Daryl Moreno's numbers continue to look good. He's become an everyday player for us as the DH. Gorman's playing a lot more defense. We'll have to check on how Gorman's hitting has gone. I don't feel like I saw a lot of home runs in those box scores. That's foul. Andre Pallante, of course, a big part of the early part of this series, but just didn't play well enough to stick around, and eventually we moved off of him. He happened to have more of a long-term role in the A's franchise, oddly enough. Got him, though, on the fastball low. It's the second out. And that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. Still hitting under 200, but he's shown some good power this season. We could use some in this spot. 12-6, and we're out in front. 99 in by him. And just a piece of it, an excellent pitch by Pallante as he finishes off the inning. We move ahead to the 8th inning. Why does Brandon Marsh not have any stats here? That's a bug, because he's been one of the highest slugging hitters on the team. A lot of homers, but a lot of doubles and triples at the same time. He's been slugging over 500. And we'll see if we can move Victor Scott here in this spot. Of course, we're going to have him steal. And it is by Marsh. I've been kind of caught off guard by that fastball. I'm always thinking about the curveball with Pallante. But if you focus on that, that fastball is going to blow right by you. And out in front. Can't get a piece of it. The fastball strikes him out. Timing on that felt okay. And they're going to make a change now. CNL Perez, 31% strikeout rate. They're going with a lefty-lefty matchup to face Gorman. Yeah, our stats are missing here on the screen. I'm not sure what happened with that. Okay, that timing was way late then on the fastball. Gorman, big hit to right field. We will send Scott home. You know, anybody else, and I'm probably holding him at third, but we're going to take our RBI single. And that's going to bring up a lefty masher in Jordan Walker. Right field on a line and caught to finish the 8th inning. And we'll look to pull off the comeback now in the 9th. Abner Uribe, 14 of 14. The numbers are elite. And the Cards need one for his first blown save of the year. Fastball slider is what I'm expecting. And a lot of velocity. But can he control it? 2-1 count. No problem controlling that one, but late. Up the middle, kicks off his cleat. A foot race that Contreras wins. A lucky infield single. Uribe's good. He'll stay in the game. And here is Luis Robert Jr. Quickly falling behind 0-2. Good locations on those first two pitches. And got him. Low sinker. Very difficult pitch to lay off for me. And a quick at-bat that brings up Daryl Moreno. And it is blooped into shallow center. It's going to drop in. We should probably get back. God, I can't believe how hard it is to, like, change your mind there and just say no. But they don't move fast enough the other way. Nasty slider. And the slider finishes things off. He strikes out Mason Wynn. And the Marlins have taken the first against us. Not a good stretch lately against the best in the National League. So Gorman has hit 5 home runs so far in this episode. It's either 4 or 5. Doesn't seem his production is falling a whole lot as he's slugging .621. Brandon Marsh, he is slugging .548. He has 27 extra base hits in 48 games. Nestor Cortez has still been as steady as ever. His whip allowed, well, it just went over 1.0. and now falls and should be back under a solid 1. We're on the board, though, in the first off of a Jordan Walker base hit. And then a double single combo in the second, loading the bases now. We haven't won too many games like this. Let's see if we can break it open. Geraldo Perdomo, when I began the episode, was our team leader in WAR, as he's hitting 320 plus, playing short with good defense. Falling behind, though, we want to get at least this first run and fight off that fastball. A fly ball that might be able to get the job done. Yeah, that's deep into the left center gap, and we'll advance from third base as the Cards make it 2-0. And then Lars Nootbaar, who only has 3 home runs, but a very high average and still a high enough OPS. He must be getting doubles and extra base hits, even if he's not going yard a ton. 2 on. And we're facing a really good pitcher in Yuri Perez. So when you've got a chance early to get home some runs, you don't want to miss your chance. Having trouble laying off some of this stuff. Inside out, headed to left field. And caught for out number 2. Feels like everybody we faced is throwing a 97 or faster fastball. Let's see if Gorman can connect with one. 16 homers, leads the National League right now. Gorman with 2 on, 2 down at the letters. Finally a 2-0 count. And nothing to swing at yet. It's 3-1. Let it run full. Nothing to drive yet, but now the runners can leave early. Big payoff. Got him! High fastball. Meanwhile, let's jump into the third with Nestor Cortez. Best numbers currently on the team. Had some pretty awesome strikeouts in the last episode, too. He's been fun to pitch with. And a soft ground ball towards Donovan. Out number 1. And now they're going to delay the game. The rain is falling, and I don't often see the delay actually happen. This is going to be a 90-minute delay. So we should probably look for a new pitcher. I was just trying to settle in, but I guess not today. So that could really change this game then. It becomes more of a bullpen game for both sides. Jojo Romero facing CJ Abrams. That's way too low. Abrams strikes out. I like with this long delay how much the stadium has emptied out. You can really see it when we get more of this angle. Place is nearly empty now. 1-2 on Chisholm, and he'll send it to Marsh. And that's the inning. So let's see if we can win a bullpen game against these guys now. Give me Marsh, 288, 933 OPS, and he's driven in 42. His RBI numbers this year are incredible. Can't wait to see where that finishes up. Smoked a short, but caught by Abrams. I can't believe those numbers from Robert. 617 OPS right now. He's on deck. We'll see him in this inning. He's the one guy on offense that has just not been anywhere close to himself. How do we get him out of the slump? Walker on first. Fastball, strike 1. And it's stopped at third. Coming up firing, it is out at first. And then you've got Brendan Donovan, whose average is now under 300, but still an OPS higher than where I would expect it. 2 down. Runner aboard. He lifts it to left, and it is caught. We move things along, and Jojo Romero has come in to settle things down. He's given us a couple solid innings. Home run, Jordan Walker. Nico Horner has become one of this team's key stars. Big reason why they're in this situation. Romero going a lot deeper into this game than we usually see. We don't really have to give him anything great. First base is open if we want to try our luck with the cleanup hitter. But 2 strikes, we can try to chase the punch out now. Got away from Contreras, who gathers it in, and safe at third. The count moves full. And it's lined to center, and Robert makes the catch. 6 scoreless in the rain. Let's see Mason Miller's numbers. They do look like they've gotten more under control. Still a decent strikeout rate, but I think that those batting averages are going to take a while to really come down. But now, can he give us an inning or 2 in a close game? Eloy Jimenez. Miller, 99 on the heater. We know he can get a little bit further than that. And a good pitch on the corner is lifted to Brandon Marsh for an easy play. A drive deep down the right field line. And Beatty missed it. And now grounds it to Jordan Walker. Perfect cutter to get ahead of Drury. Miller's 1-2, though, is well outside. I've tried to throw some close pitches, but he's not keeping them very close. Clearly doesn't feel like himself still, but a 100-mile-per-hour fastball is a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Trying to put together a good at-bat with Robert. He hasn't had many lately. And we fight off the slider. Ground ball snagged at first. And it's just not clicking for him. 8th inning. Runners at the corners now for Mason Miller. We're going to look to get Diaz and Helsley up. Wanted to see Miller maybe go one more, but couldn't handle the bottom of this order quick enough. Fastball got him on the top shelf, strike 3. 2 gone for Jazz Chisholm. The cutter gets him, waving, strike 2. That was a nice pitch. 2-2 on Jazz. He struck him out looking. 374, are you serious? What kind of a streak is William Contreras on right now? I was thinking like 275 maybe, not 100 points better. But he's 3 for 3. 2 strikes. I can feel how much better of a pitching staff this is, though. Even with the bullpen, they've just been so much more difficult. He lifts it towards center, but that's going to be playable. He's now 3 for 4. A drive, deep left field. Marino, foul around the screen. And then swings through or ahead of a slider. On top of it, knocked down by Beatty. Marino hustling his way to an infield hit. Flips the order for Geraldo Perdomo and a 319 average. 27 RBIs. Inside out, but just keeps reaching. 2 on for the Cards. Lars Nootbaar, left on left. Blown by Nootbaar, though. We leave 2 on. And so, Alexis Diaz will come out as we try to score a win against a first-place team. 11 saves this year with the 1 blown against the Dodgers. 3-4-5 up from Miami. Good slider. And got him looking. Fastball on the corner. Eloy Jimenez getting ahead in the count. It's 3-1. Marlins need some base runners. Diaz, the 3-2 is taken low. Now the third baseman, Beatty. He grounds it softly. Only one chance, and Diaz can't make the play. A soft tapper, 55 off the bat, turns into a single. The Marlins bring the tying run to the plate in Brandon Drury. Late on 96. 16 pitches in, though. We just want to get a ground ball and get out of here. 2 strikes. How do you let that by? 3-2. And it's low to Drury. It loads the bases. So do you leave Diaz out? 21 pitches in. Let's get a mound visit at least. I think his confidence went up. We do have Helsley getting ready. I will leave Diaz out for this hitter, Mervis. Come on, man. Grounded. Foul past third base. And just a piece of that slider. The Marlins got nothing going offensively until the 9th inning. Diaz, what are you doing that far outside? Lifted towards the gap. Marsh will run it down and make the catch. They bluffed that tag from second base. Do we consider Helsley now? They're going to run Joe Adell. He's on their team after spending all those years with us. One more out. Diaz staying in. Grounded to Gorman. That took too long. Cardinals win. An agonizing wait for that first win against these top NL teams, and even this 9th inning had to drag on far too long. But now we have a chance to take a series from a very good opponent. I'm pretty happy with that, though, having to rely a lot on the bullpen and them answering that call. We're going to give Robert an off day as he's just not been playing very well, and his average against righties is very low in the 160s. He's at least playing better against lefties, but you're only going to face a lefty every so often. Dylan Lesko, I'm hoping to see him get things under control again after such a strong season last year. We want him and Hens to show that they are going to be reliable for multiple years as Gorman gets us started with the 2-run home run. And we got a threat here in the first. Can't capitalize on the second one. Miami hitless through 4, and we'll jump in as Jazz Chisholm comes to the plate. Compared to a year ago, Lesko is giving up a higher whip by a decent bit. He has increased his strikeout rate. Walks are up a little bit. The advanced numbers are pretty happy, though, with the high K rate, the low home run rate. So hopefully we see him play much better the rest of the way. ERA is sitting now just under 5 as we attempt to bring all those bloated ERAs down. Jazz has the highest WAR in the entire NL, 3.5, and we're not even halfway through the season. It's pretty impressive. Let's go, the 0-2, and a ground ball. Perdomo is there, and he got him by a half step. Drury smokes one through the hole between third and short, and that's the first hit off Lesko all day. Mervis tries to tie the game on the high fastball. 2-1 from Lesko is waved at. He's already picked up a couple double plays in the quick manage today. I would take another one here. 3-2. We're going curveball now. Haven't thrown it yet. And it was a good one. Wow, he chases the slider. And that was way inside. So there we see a bit of what's increasing that strikeout rate this year. They will chase. Now he's fallen behind. Dalton rushing and misses inside. 2 aboard for Miami. 4 walks, and that is up this year for him. It's up for a few pitchers. Ooh, the Phillies just made a move. They called up the #1 prospect in all of baseball, Garth Gillett. We'll have to see if he's a player. I know that the Phillies are behind the Marlins, so maybe not looking as strong right now, but could a #1 prospect help close that gap? Let's go. The 2-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. Contreras with the drive. Lifted the deep left field. Gone, a home run. And the hot stretch continues as the Cards extend their lead. It's only his 5th home run, but he's been doing a lot outside of the long ball. He's been a huge addition this season. Right over the middle on the changeup. Appreciate that, Sandy. Victor Scott's numbers aren't bad, actually. 237. I think that's enough for him. Waves at that slider. 6 stolen bases. He does have 3 homers this year. Coming off the bench. Scott is under it. Probably not playable. You just want to get him on any way possible. Just put it in play. Trust your speed. Rolls it to the right side. Racing Sandy, and he is a half step slower. Yeah, the Phillies are actually in 4th place. Check that out. Man. If the Phillies aren't as much of a factor this year, it's a weird year. Now, a lot can change, as we've already seen, like the Dodgers weren't playing much above 500 early, but suddenly now have a comfortable lead in the West again. You're kind of just waiting for that in franchise. You're never really assuming the Dodgers are going to fall off. Yeah, these low pitches are really giving me problems today and all the days. 6 scoreless, though, for Dylan Lesko. Pretty pleased with this outing. Let me get an AB in here with Nolan Gorman against the lefty Weathers. I think I had that one dialed up. Gorman! Nearly into a double play. Jazz hits a homer on the first at-bat for Michael Kopech. Brandon Drury hits a solo shot. The first 3 reach. I think his day's done. And then they double home that run to tie the game. Let's go bottom of the 8th then. The bullpen surrenders our lead. A drive from Perdomo. He is under it, but did not get all of it. Out #1. Up the middle, off the mound, and not getting through. It wasn't hit very hard, and I think the mound slowed it down even further. And that's going to get us to the big bat of Nolan Gorman. Hitting .335, a 1,000-plus OPS, and 17 home runs. Can Weathers give us something to drive? Well, that's a promising first pitch. Gorman out in front. That's what I wanted. What I got to be aware of, too, is I have Robert available off the bench. And I don't know if they're going to still have a lefty in when I want to make a move, like Scott hits at the bottom. But it's something to keep in mind. 3-2 on Gorman. Waved at it. Just cannot hold back on any of these. So it's a big game. We want to win this one, take this series from the Marlins. When we get to the end of the year, we could have a lot of close records, and maybe those head-to-head tiebreakers play a factor in playoff seeding. Not off to a good start the way we've faced teams like the Dodgers. So I want this one. Matt Liberatore is in. After having to use much of the bullpen the previous day, a couple guys maybe not so available now. Extra innings could get really weird. On a full count to Brandon Drury. He takes way low, and it's ball 4. They run Joe Adell with 99 speed at first base. Mervis grounding. Gorman just getting this one. His momentum going that quickly to that side. I wasn't sure if he could flip and throw to second in time. So we're going to take our one out. Confidence is low. Come on, Matt. Pep talk time. Why aren't you confident? You just got started, man. We're going to warm up Yenier Cano. And hope that Liberatore doesn't lose full composure. Good pitch. See, you're a good pitcher. You should be confident in yourself. Believe you can hit this rectangle. See, you're very close to the zone. Liberatore gets the soft grounder. Perdomo, the All-Star. Out number 2. I'm speaking it into existence. Alberto Rodriguez. How are your splits against lefties? I think pretty favorable. Just get him. A strike on the slider. Why isn't he getting more confident? He's pitching well, and I'm giving him a decent pep talk, I think. I should be able to speak to my players through the PS5 controller. Into center. Scott takes us to the bottom of the 9th inning. And they're going to leave Weathers in the game to face the 4, 5, 6 hitters. So I'm curious what the shape of their bullpen's like. Yeah, I'm better off missing that one. Palante and Uribe both getting up. I have one guy fresh. They have Munoz also available. They got some good arms here. Why are they bothering with Palante right now? I'd have Munoz in like right now. Marsh is under the slider, but I don't think he got enough. Misses a chance at a walk-off finish. And that brings up Jordan Walker. Big 2-home run inning last episode. He's played great. And loves hitting lefties. Pops up the fastball. Fortes will make the play, and we're down to our last out in the 9th. It's going to be Brendan Donovan. So if we wanted to make a move here, we have Wynn, who I have added third base as a secondary position. Let's see if he can do it. Let's get Luis Robert into the game. He's had a down year by his high standards, but a big moment like this could fuel a massive turnaround. 2 down in the 9th. Robert to right and slicing foul. Robert to right, hits it deep, it turns foul. Why would you do that to a guy who struggled like this? 1-2 from Ryan Weathers. A drive to left field! It'll stay fair! Game over! He got another shot and delivers in the clutch. Luis Robert lifts the Cardinals to a big series win over Miami. Let that be the moment that gets things back on track for him, please. Pinch hit, walk-off home run. When I'm envisioning like the perfect pitch that I want in that spot, that was it. Off speed, elevated, clearly a bad miss. 4-3 cards. GG's. The Cardinals are now 32-22 on the season. The Cubs' play has fallen off in recent games. The Marlins have one less victory than us, and the Dodgers have the same. The Rays still own the best record in baseball, though, 36-19. I wanted to take a look at some of our splits as I figure out how to optimize lineups going forward. Usually you have a couple guys who are really struggling against lefties, and then I've also seen some weird struggles against righties from guys you wouldn't expect, in past years anyway. But, I mean, against righties, William Contreras, 383, is that good? Nootbaar hitting 320, Donovan 320. If you're looking for low averages here, it's really the Robert 164 that stands out. And if that doesn't get better, then this slump is going to continue. But this is what the ratings tell you, is that he will mash lefties. He'll be far more inconsistent against righties, but still has power when he does connect. And that contact does appear to be an actual issue this season. So that might be something to actually focus on in training. It feels like maybe there's a bit of a breaking point there with where the contact is at. And if we purposefully train that, maybe we can counter it. Against lefties this year, Jordan Walker, 407. Just walked the guy. Gorman hitting 397 against lefties. That is insane. Geraldo Perdomo, 377. Yeah, we are crushing lefties this year. Donovan, not so much. That's what we learned last year, is that he's not hitting lefties great any longer. So maybe against some lefties, it makes sense to get Win out there, as that's kind of where Win's strength lies. And Donovan's one of those guys where it's nice to give him an off day there anyway. I'm fine playing Win there against lefties. We're going to flip Contreras and Robert here, and I think whenever you have a guy who's struggling with speed, and he's going to hit low anyway, just hit him ninth. Let him be that second leadoff guy. Really happy with Daryl Moreno's progress this season. You know, with these young players, you're not sure if you should believe in them getting off to fast starts or not. But in 131 ABs this year, 4 homers, 24 RBIs, 812 OPS, a guy you want to keep in the order, and he's developing well. What if we check on some other players now? Let's go to Arizona. We knew that earlier Arenado was not playing well, and unfortunately that is continuing. He only has a 602 OPS and under 200 batting average. I'm actually really curious about the pitchers we once traded to the White Sox to get Robert in the first place. But right now, none appear to be at the major league level. Tekoa Roby is still a 75. I'm not sure he's developed a whole lot then. Wow, they gave him a chance. I felt like he was just a guy that had to get that big league playing time. And it's not working out in Chicago. But the door's not closed. Steve Castilla is still down at AAA in the Diamondbacks system. He's very close to cracking this rotation and maybe will by the end of the year. He's a 79, and you'll remember him as the first ever pick in the series, but traded him to get Geraldo Perdomo. That's good to see. He's still number 1 in the NL. We have Rafael Devers with 20 homers, Gunnar Henderson with 17. So Gorman's still in really good shape to make it to the Derby, but that is still, 2 months away. Let's speed it back up again now. We got a road trip in Kansas City. That gets off to a good start for our pitching. We have not been allowing many runs for the past week. We'll take that little 2-game series win, head out to Baltimore, where we win 11-7 on this Saturday. It's a 4-home run day for the Cards, a pair going to Nolan Gorman. We put up 4 in the 10th inning. Gorman does have 2 homers and 2 errors. That probably doesn't happen very often. We drop the series to the Orioles and get back to National League play. The Padres. Big day for Jordan Walker in a 9-7 game that the Cardinals hold on to win. We've been winning some of these high scoring games. Why do we have 4 errors? It is Nootbaar, Gorman, Marsh, and Walker. 2 outfield errors there in the same game. Gorman's not going to be the best player defensively. We know that. He has 5 errors now on the year. I'm not sure there's really anything we can do to grade defense here in franchise outside of fielding percentage, which makes me feel like it's 2004. Benny Matsumoto is now healthy. He's going to come off of the injured list. I forget at all if I covered his injury much, but he missed a decent stretch of time. And now we'll resume trying to get to the majors. Down at AAA, by the way, one guy that is crushing it is Donald Galvin. His potential is right around what his overall is, so to see boosts like this to his offense is pretty promising. At some point, he may have at least a bench role. How about these ERAs? Cease, 5.01, Burns, 3.71. Cortez, I think, is the ERA leader right now. The right kind of leader in that department. 4.41 for Lesko, 5.04 for Tink Hence. It's worrying that he had a sophomore slump and is slumping even further this year. The whip has gotten worse by 14 points. His strikeout rate is up. The walk rate is up. Home run rate is down. So if we're judging this based off of FIP, it is still an improvement. He's just given up a higher batting average, it seems, right now. We take care of the Padres in a series win and now get Chicago. 6-0 shutout victory over the White Sox. Contreras hits a pair of home runs. And Nestor Cortez goes 8 1/3, letting the former White Sox Kopech finish it off. So are we seeing now in the last couple weeks Roberts' numbers improve? Maybe slightly. Average is up to 210, but that contact against righties is ugly. And we're paying him $22 million to do a lot more than that. A knee injury going to Sammy Robinson, who was called up to AAA. And that is going to put him out for a couple months. We do get Julian Welsh back down at AA, so his first season can continue. It seems that Steve Padilla is getting his season back on track. He's at least countering that regression. And he's up to a 75 now, looking very promising with his bat. And Norris Sullivan has continued to play very well, but he's not actually getting a lot of development to go with it. So he's just become a bit of a AAA superstar. The Cardinals rally to come back and beat the White Sox, achieving a sweep. They trailed 4-0 going into the 8th and win it 5-4. Tink Hence, 4 runs given up in 4 innings, but the bullpen shuts it down. We finally meet the Cubs for the first time, and it's when the gap in the Central has gotten the widest all year. We're 6.5 games ahead. And Dylan Cease is slashing that ERA down, now into the low 5s. Home run going to Brandon Marsh starts the scoring. And then a single, double follows, single for Donovan. We take a 3-0 lead. And a double from Roberts. How about 4 in the second? Another run in the third with William Contreras going 2 for 2. Donovan doubles home a couple more. And then Marino. Yard. It's 9-0. Gorman home run, 10-0. We do all of our scoring early in this one. And they're going to make it a little bit closer here. But it is a win for the Cards, 10-5. 10 strikeouts for Dylan Cease, giving up just 1. And I'll go player lock here with Nolan Gorman as we try to clinch another series. We face Justin Steele, and we know how good Gorman's been against lefties. He's hitting .319 with 21 homers on the year, 47 RBIs in that MVP discussion. Trying to get on the board early. Steele in the dirt, taking off, and out is Geraldo Perdomo. Gorman drives it to right center. And we take the lead in the first. It's 1-0. Served up over the middle again for Nolan. 22. Anthony Santander is a Cub. You know who else is? Luis Arraez, who's on base right now. One on, two down, and Gorman, whose defense has been in question, makes the play. Runner on in the second. Runner takes off. I'm not used to having to cover the bag there, but I actually, I did it. Didn't matter. Jake Fraley stole it, and then Wilson goes yard. At bat number 2 for Nolan Gorman. Another drive, slider down the middle, headed back. He flies out. I thought the head left. Trying to tie the game here in the 5th. Steele has only given up the 1 run. Can we just bunt him over here? He's at second base. That way we can maybe, get this game tied up. That's a good idea. Just kidding. Gorman to second base. Dude, you got to stop throwing sliders over the middle. We got a sac fly, though. The small ball approach ultimately did work. Trying to take the lead. The bases are loaded. We leave them loaded. The Cubs get 2 in the 6th. And now we're up against Paul Sewald and the Cubs pen. Good fastball from Sewald. And he hits it the other way. Inside out for a hit. Gorman 2 for 4. Brandon Marsh, I saw on the ticker, hit his 100th career home run recently. He's been incredible this season. 1-1, and he is late. Sewald ahead, 1-2, and Marsh taps it through the right side. Tying run is on. Lars Nootbaar with a chance to get a couple here, and he strikes out. How about Contreras? No one in this lineup is hotter than him right now. Should be an all-star. We should have a few this season. And it's hit softly to the right side. Out at second. The return is in time. Cubs out of the 7th. 7.5 up. Seriously. That's how critical a game like this is for Chicago. Double play. Back at ya. There we go. We string a few hits together. And we've got 2 aboard in a 1-run game for Gorman. You might just want to walk him and load the bases. They're not. Meza at the knees. That's where the slider needs to go, or even lower. Got one up. Little late. That's a really good pitch. But you know what? You got one earlier I didn't like. Got him on a slider. Too late to fight it off. And we cannot get a run in the 9th. The Cubs take this one and even the series. Two more errors in that game, by the way. Walker and Wynn each commit one. Let's finish off this series then in Chicago as the Cubs bring out Shota Imanaga for the final matchup, and we pitch Nestor Cortez. Seiya Suzuki with a first inning double. Santander drives them in. It's 1-0. Sac fly in the 3rd inning for Jordan Walker. Robert comes through with a 2-run double in the 5th. Cardinals take the lead. MJ Melendez flies out to finish. And now the Cubs, trying to answer, have 2 on for Luis Arraez. You know he's probably going to put this in play. Slider, strike 1. That's strike 2. Can you get him to chase or get the umpire to think something's a strike? It's on the ground. We're going to go home and get that out. No problem. And now we deal with the power of Santander. 2 on, 2 down. Ground ball, base hit. Robert playing way back, and a run will score. 3-2. Thought it was a good time for a curveball, and it wasn't even a strike. Kevin Alcantara. 2 on. Not sure we've really seen him. 288, 801 OPS. Driven out to left field. Melendez is out there to make the play. Back-to-back singles in the 7th. They brought in Seawold, who's already pitched a fair bit in this series, so he's not fresh. And Marino tries to increase the lead, fouling back a fastball up. Got a piece, Seawold ahead. Down the line and foul. The count runs full. Marino grounds it up the middle. 6-4-3 double play. Mason Miller, meanwhile, gets us 2 scoreless innings of relief. We turn to Helsley then in the 8th. Gets Alcantara, Amaya, and Pete Crow Armstrong in order. And we go to the 9th with Nolan Gorman in a 1-run game. Austin Adams is the new Cubs pitcher. Count 2-2. Grounded up the middle and through the umpire. Base hit. I am looking to run. We can have Donovan take over at second. Victor Scott will now enter the game. There he goes. Pitch low. Good try. Advancing Scott to third is Nootbaar. And then William Contreras. 6 for 12 in this series. No signs of slowing down. .437 on-base percentage. And he's going to ground this one. They'll try to get Scott, and he's too quick. 4-2. It's so risky to try going home there with the speed of Scott at third base. We made that play earlier, but it was a shorter throw from third with a slower base runner. It was also not close either, as Robert singles one through. Good to see his numbers at least on the upswing. Marino to center. Not a great swing, 2 down. Ground ball to short. Off his wrist. And the inning will continue. E6. A lot of errors in today's episode. Not that we've seen many of them, but they've been in a lot of our games. So bases juiced for MJ Melendez. Got the start today because I got the notification that he hasn't played in a while and I should try to keep him fresh and ready to go. Bases loaded here. Fouled back. Maybe too rusty to turn on that one right now. All fastballs and a 2-2 count from Adams. No! MJ! Strike 3 swinging. Here's Alexis Diaz, 17 of 20. The ERA is scary at 5.66. Let's keep it a little easier than the one attempt we had against the Marlins, please. We could have started with a good call there, ump. Down the line and fair. It's past Win. Hustling. No, he stops at first. It's a base hit. That brings up Jacob Wilson. Good fastball from Diaz, trying to get that first out. And the slider. He goes around. Strike 3. Cody Bellinger rolls it over. 1 there. All we get. The game is up to Seiya Suzuki. He goes around. A win would put us 7.5 games above the Cubs. He missed his chance on that one. He really left that slider up. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Cardinals score a big series win, now against Chicago, creating a nice chasm between them and the Cubs. Fun games today, and the Cardinals still moving in the right direction as a team. I feel like the slump of Robert got turned around a bit. Then our pitching seems to be better. Now we're going to go up against LA again. And I imagine there's no way we play them more than 6 times. Winning the season series against them isn't on the table. Tying it is, but you've got to sweep them in Los Angeles. But at the very least, we're going to see them as opponents again next time. 42-26 now. With this large lead in the Central, if that maintains, we can move by pretty quick through the rest of the season. Dodgers are way out in first place with an identical record to us, while the Marlins are 37-31. The East is more up for grabs. Contreras, number 1 in average. Shohei, number 1 in home runs. Gorman at 22 is tied for 3rd in the league. We need him to be top 8 to be in the Derby. So far, so good. Ohtani and Gorman are 1 and 2 for MVP voting. And in terms of All-Star voting, Nestor Cortez leads at starting pitcher. Jojo Romero could make it in. Yenier Cano's also in the mix. There's Miller. William Contreras leads at catcher. Jordan Walker's in second place at first base. Gorman leads second. I can't believe Perdomo's this far down, but I guess other shortstops in the NL hit for a bit more power. We have the number 1 batting average in baseball, a top 5 scoring offense. The Dodgers, though, are way out in front of us. They also have the most home runs by far, 15 more than the team in second. That's not reassuring. Team ERA, what do we got there? Rays, number 1. We are 5. Way better than where we began. You got to get runs off the Dodgers, though, man. They are going to put up a lot of offense. And that's going to do it for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed another episode in the Cardinals franchise. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. They've been a lot of fun to put together, and there is more on the way. Have a great day. See you next time, everybody.